The wedding day betrayal. Just hours before my brother's wedding, I received a chilling anonymous message: "Don't go to your brother's wedding. Check your husband's garage." When I opened that garage door, I discovered a betrayal so devastating it destroyed multiple lives. Emma adjusted the lace collar of her designer dress, smoothing invisible creases from the silk fabric. Today was supposed to be perfect. Her younger brother Daniel was marrying Victoria, and the entire family had been buzzing with excitement for months. Daniel was the family's golden child, charming, successful, beloved by everyone, and his happiness with Victoria seemed like a fairy tale come true. As the protective older sister, Emma had watched Daniel transform under Victoria's influence. His eyes sparkled when he spoke about her, his whole demeanor lighter, brighter. Sunlight streamed through the apartment windows as wedding preparations filled the air with energy. Their mother bustled in the kitchen preparing traditional family recipes while their father meticulously checked the guest list. Emma was finishing her makeup when her husband Mark had left earlier that morning, claiming an urgent client meeting. "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll be at the ceremony on time," he'd promised, kissing her goodbye. His tone was casual, affectionate, nothing unusual. Yet something about it left Emma with an inexplicable unease. She studied her reflection, a confident, successful accountant at a prestigious firm, married for 10 years to Mark. Their marriage had seemed solid, secure. Sure, they had minor disagreements, but nothing extraordinary. Life felt steady, predictable, or so she'd believed. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message made her blood run cold: "Don't go to the wedding. Check your husband's garage." Her heart stuttered. What could that possibly mean? Who would send such a cryptic warning? She tried dismissing it as a prank or wrong number, but dread settled in her stomach like lead. The apartment, moments ago warm with wedding excitement, now felt eerily quiet, haunted by Mark's absence. She reread the message: "Check your husband's garage." Why? What could be there? Mark had never hidden anything from her. He'd always been transparent, honest, hadn't he? She called him. No answer. Probably still in that meeting, she rationalized, but anxiety tightened her chest. Panic began rising as she tried distracting herself by helping her mother in the kitchen, but those words kept echoing: "Don't go to the wedding. Check the garage." Emma knew she couldn't ignore this gnawing feeling. But driving to check the garage seemed absurd. Mark would think she didn't trust him. Yet how could she shake this suffocating dread without investigating? The ceremony was still hours away. Mark should have returned by now, or at least called. Nothing. Then she remembered the spare key. Mark had mentioned making a copy just in case. Where had he said he'd put it? The memory clicked: inside their old keepsake box in the closet, buried among love letters and vacation souvenirs. Her hands trembled as she opened it. There it was, a small, innocent-looking piece of metal that might shatter her entire world. Emma hesitated. Was she really going to betray their trust over an anonymous text? But fear, curiosity, and that aching dread screamed louder than doubt. She decided to go quietly. Just a quick check. No one had to know. Then she could return and pretend this paranoid episode never happened. Emma slipped out unnoticed. The sun blazed overhead, but she felt no warmth, only cold dread. The garage was just blocks away. She walked quickly, her mind racing, desperately trying to silence the screaming thoughts. The row of steel garage units loomed like tombstones. She found Mark's unit, her heartbeat thundering in her ears. The key slid into the lock. Click. The door creaked open to darkness that smelled of oil, rubber, and secrets. Emma activated her phone's flashlight, scanning the space. Mark's vintage Lincoln sat in the corner. Tools lined the walls. Spare parts. Old boxes. Nothing suspicious. She exhaled shakily. Just a cruel prank. A stupid joke. As she turned to leave, something caught her eye: a large cardboard box covered by a worn blanket in the corner. Her feet moved before her brain could stop them. She pulled back the fabric. Inside were items that didn't belong: a woman's designer purse, expensive heels, luxury perfume. Her stomach lurched. She recognized these things. They belonged to Victoria, Daniel's fiancée. Emma's vision blurred as her mind scrambled for innocent explanations. Why would Victoria's belongings be in Mark's garage? With trembling hands, she opened the purse. Inside, wallet, makeup, keys, and photographs. Emma's heart hammered as she examined the stack of photos under the light. Mark and Victoria. In every single shot. They were on a tropical beach, clearly vacationing together. Laughing. Kissing. Embracing like lovers. In one, he held her hand as she leaned against his shoulder, beaming. In another, they sat at a seaside cafe, looking like a travel advertisement couple. Emma staggered backward, clutching the photos like they were burning her flesh. The garage walls seemed to close in. The air thickened. Everything shattered. Her marriage. Her brother's happiness. Her family's trust. All lies. Cruel, calculated lies. Still reeling, she found a folder at the bottom of the box. Inside were printed messages, handwritten notes, conversation snippets between Mark and Victoria. Emma read with mounting horror. "Baby, I'm so glad we're doing this together. Thank you for believing in me. I know it's wrong, but I can't live without you. You're my everything. I'm marrying Daniel for security. You know this won't last. Once I'm his wife, we'll finally be together. You'll leave Emma, and we'll be free." Emma's hands shook violently. She dropped the folder, barely able to breathe. Victoria had never loved Daniel. The marriage was a calculated front so she and Mark could build their secret life together. And Mark, he'd kissed Emma that morning, smiled like everything was normal. All of it a performance. Rage erupted in her chest, deep, pulsing fury that surged through her veins. She wanted to scream, destroy the garage, expose them both in one brutal strike. But she didn't. Instead, she stood in that dim, dusty space surrounded by evidence of betrayal and let her fury crystallize into cold resolve. She couldn't let Daniel walk into the sham marriage. She couldn't let these vipers destroy him like they'd destroyed her. Emma methodically photographed everything: the shoes, perfume, purse, photos, messages. She documented it all carefully, knowing she had to be strategic. If Mark discovered she'd been here, he might destroy evidence or spin excuses. Once finished, she replaced everything exactly as found, wiping away any traces of her presence. Then she locked the garage and stepped into the harsh sunlight. The world felt different now, colder, sharper, more dangerous. Her thoughts raced as she walked to her car. What now? Pretend nothing happened at the wedding? Tell Daniel immediately? She knew a wedding wasn't the place for such devastating truth. Not in front of guests, not amid celebration. But silence was impossible now. Emma made her decision. She would tell Daniel privately, somewhere quiet. She dialed his number. He answered cheerfully. "Hey Em, what's up? Why aren't you at the venue yet?" "Daniel," Emma said, fighting to keep her voice steady. "I need to talk to you. It's urgent." "What's wrong?" "I can't explain over the phone. Can we meet? Just for a few minutes?" Daniel paused, sensing her distress. "Now? The wedding's in less than an hour." "I know. But it's about Victoria." Silence. Then quietly, "Okay. Where?" "Back entrance of the venue. 30 minutes. Please, Daniel." "I'll be there," he said and hung up. Emma leaned back against the seat, heart still racing, hands cold. She'd made the hardest choice, to shatter his illusions with truth, whatever the cost. Daniel was pacing near the venue's back entrance when she arrived, his tuxedo crisp, hair perfectly styled. But tension radiated from his posture. What's going on, Em? You're scaring me. Emma wordlessly handed him the envelope containing the printed evidence. Look for yourself. You deserve the truth. Daniel frowned as he opened it, flipping through photos. At first, he smiled nervously, as if expecting a prank. But as he continued, color drained from his face. When he reached the messages, he froze, scanning each one with growing horror. Is this real? He whispered, voice barely audible. This can't be real. I wish it wasn't, Emma replied, her voice thick. But I found it all in Mark's garage. I saw it myself. Daniel stared at the photos, hands shaking. Reality was sinking in, slow, brutal, undeniable. Why? He whispered. Why would she do this to me? Emma touched his arm gently. I don't know. But you can't go through with this, Daniel. Not with her. Not after this. He pulled away, pressing his palm to his face. The wedding's in an hour. The guests, Mom and Dad, everyone's here. How am I supposed to? You don't have to do it alone, Emma said. I'll help you. Whatever you need, we'll face it together. Daniel looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. The decision had landed painfully, but conviction hardened in his eyes. Let's go, he said. Inside, the venue buzzed with excitement. Music played softly, guests chatted happily. Victoria stood near the floral arch, radiant in white, adjusting her veil nervously. She turned as Daniel approached. Danny, sweetheart, where have you? There won't be a wedding, he said, voice calm but unwavering. The room stilled. Conversation ceased. Victoria blinked, stunned. What? What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke? I know, Daniel said. I know everything about you and Mark. I've seen the pictures. I've read the messages. Her face twisted, first confusion, then panic. No, that's not true. That's a lie. Who told you that? It doesn't matter who told me. What matters is I know the truth, and I'm not marrying someone who's been lying to me. Victoria's voice turned shrill. How dare you? How dare you ruin this day? Do you know what you're doing? I know exactly what I'm doing, Daniel replied. I'm stopping this before it becomes something worse. She whirled toward Emma, eyes wild. It was you, wasn't it? You've always hated me. You've always been jealous. Don't be ridiculous, Victoria, Emma said coolly. I'm not jealous. I'm protecting my brother. Protecting? Victoria hissed. You mean sabotaging? You wanted to destroy our happiness. You were never going to be happy, Emma replied. Not when it was built on lies. Victoria lunged toward Emma, hand raised, but Daniel caught her wrist. Don't, he said firmly. Just don't. Get out of here, Victoria. And don't ever come back. Her mouth fell open. She yanked her hand free, looking around at the stunned guests, the ruined flowers, her crumbling dreams. With a furious cry, she stormed down the aisle and out the door. Daniel sank into a nearby chair, shoulders sagging. The silence was suffocating. What happens now? He whispered. Emma crouched beside him. Now you breathe. And then we start over. Shortly after, Mark approached Emma, face pale, eyes nervous. Emma, he asked hesitantly. What's going on? Why did Daniel cancel the wedding? Emma met his gaze steadily. Because he knows, Mark. He knows about you and Victoria. Mark froze, panic blooming in his eyes. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter, she said coldly. What matters is that it's over. He's not marrying your mistress. His face darkened. You told him. You ruined everything. I saved him, Emma replied. And I saved myself. You ruined everything the day you betrayed us. You'll regret this, he hissed. I won't forgive you for this. He stormed out without another word. Emma watched him go, knowing he'd retaliate. But she no longer feared him. His betrayal had burned away her naivety. Days later, Mark packed his things and disappeared. Emma didn't try to stop him. Their marriage had died the moment she found Victoria's belongings in that garage. Silence settled over the apartment. Emma allowed herself to feel the pain, sorrow, disbelief, fear. But beneath it all was something else: release, forward motion, freedom. The following days blurred as she gathered divorce paperwork, met with lawyers, processed the emotional wreckage. Exhausting, but necessary. She stayed strong for Daniel and herself. Daniel struggled too, but they leaned on each other, bound tighter by shared survival. One evening, Daniel came for dinner, looking tired but more alive. Thank you, Em, he said, hugging her. You saved me. I don't know what I would have done without you. You'll always have me, she replied. We'll get through this together. I've been thinking, he said. I want to start my own business. I've had this idea for years. I think I'm ready. Emma smiled. That's wonderful, Daniel. I believe in you. They talked for hours about the future, remembering the past, dreaming of possibilities. Both broken but not destroyed. In shared pain, they'd found unshakable strength. The divorce proceeded smoothly. No prenup meant assets split evenly. Mark didn't contest, he just wanted to wash his hands of everything. One evening, while sorting through boxes, Emma's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Emma. It's Andrew, said the unfamiliar voice. The name clicked: Andrew from Mark's firm. Quiet, reserved, easily overlooked.